Hey guys, I'm David, welcome to the channel. In this video I am going to show you how to build the inverted Mobula 6 step by step. I'm going to build it with you. I am going to show you my Betaflight and JESC settings. If you want to see my last video in which I show you how it flies and how long it flies, you can check it out right over here. And if you see me using parts that are not original Mobula 6 parts, well, I have been flying this drone for a while now, and I am already in the process of testing different motors and propellers. So yeah, that's why. Now, I'm gonna start taking my Mobula 6 apart. I'm using my Xiaomi Wowstic. It's a really great tool. I got the kit with the 64 bits, the magnetic mat, and there's a promo on Banggood for the moment with the code you can find in the description below. You get an extra 5% off for about, I think, 30 bucks or 30 euros. It's about the same. Yeah, it's a really great kit, and I didn't realize how great this is before I actually bought it. I always thought I just use my regular screwdrivers, and yeah, right now I just couldn't go without it anymore. So really check it out, guys. Links in the description. We're going to take our Mobula 6 apart. Now, I've already built an inverted Mobula 6, so I'm going to take that one apart just so I can build it again to show you guys how to build it. But okay, after we take it apart, we're gonna attach the camera. You gotta make sure you get the camera right side up, not to get your screen on its side or upside down or something like that. You gotta figure out which camera angle you want and make sure to align it with your frame correctly, because once you glue it, it's not going anywhere anymore. So yeah, we want our battery toilet tanked, because otherwise the battery would hit the camera, and if you got your battery toilet tanked, there's less chance of your battery moving in a crash. So that's a lot of benefits there. So first, attach your camera with just a little bit of hot glue. Once the glue is set, we're gonna secure it with dental floss. If you do not secure it with dental floss, your camera will come loose every so many crashes, and you will have to repeat this process, and it's a pain in the, you know. So just do it. It's a tedious job, as you can probably see, but it's really worth it. And just a tip, if you glue the camera and you notice it's not aligned correctly with the frame, or the angle is off, you can just take a hairdryer, heat up the glue, and fix your camera like that. You don't have to try and rip it off and do it all over again. Just heat up the glue and make sure it's correct. So we got the camera in place. Now we're gonna put the board in. I'm gonna flip the board upside down. I'm gonna flip it 180 degrees. Well, actually I'm gonna roll the board 180 degrees. Now we have the motor connector and USB port at the top, and a nice flat surface on the bottom. The board is unprotected, but I haven't had a board break in a crash yet, and I'm flying inverted drones, well, whoops, for almost a year now. So yeah, I've already taken off my motor plugs and connectors from the board, and I've direct soldered them to the board. This can save you up to about half a gram. You do not have to do this, but if you're wondering how you can do this, check out this video where I show you how to take off the connectors and direct solder motors to your board. You also have to bend the receiver antenna up, and you can choose. You can bend the VTX antenna up, the copper one, the VTX antenna, or solder it to the other side of the board. I don't remove camera connectors. I actually don't know why. Maybe I should try this one in the future. I think you can save 0.1 to 0.2 grams here. And I only use 2 screws per motor, which saves me about 1/10 of a gram. Now for the props. I'm using a props out config, so if you want to use my Betaflight settings and everything, make sure you also use a props out config. Now we've put our drone together, we're going to dive into Betaflight. I'm using Betaflight 4.2. First thing, we're going to remap the motors. Go to the CLI tab and type resource. We're gonna prepare a paper like this, and we're going to write down our motor resources. After we've done that, we are going to write down our new motor resources. So once you've done that, type resource motor 1 equals space and then the new resource. If you leave out the space, the CLI will not accept the command. Press enter after each line. Do this for all 4 motors. Now we're going to check if our motors are in the correct position. Go to the Motors tab, attach a battery. Now we're going to spin up each motor. Did it work? Okay, great. If it didn't work, go back into the CLI and type resource motor 1 equals none. Save. Then type resource motor 1 with the new resource. Do this for each motor. Now we're going to check our motor directions. Go to the Motor tab again. Spin a motor up very slowly. I insert a toothpick or an electrical wire into the propeller very, very gently. Don't just shove it in there. Just ease it in there. And you will see if your toothpick gets pushed out or sucked in. If you get a props out configuration, you want your props spinning away from the camera and away from the tail of the drone. So if it gets pushed away from the camera, if you insert your toothpick next to the camera, you got a correct motor position. If it gets sucked in, you got a wrong motor position. Now write down a check mark or an X on your paper next to each motor. Once you've done that for all 4 motors, we're going into JESC. We are going to change the motors with the wrong direction. Change normal into reversed or vice versa at the according motor. Now press flash all. I'm going to use 48 kilohertz as I do on all my whoops. Once that's done, you can choose to use bidirectional D-shot to unlock it. You first have to license your motors. This will cost you, I think, $5. In my opinion, I think it's worth it. I do this with all my drones. I really like how bidirectional D-shot flies and feels. So after you buy a license, you can press flash all telemetry and choose the according firmware, which will probably be 2.3. My bidirectional D-shot settings will be explained later. Okay, going back to Betaflight, now we are going to tell the FC that it has been rolled 180 degrees. Go to your configuration tab. There you will see a section board and sensor alignment. Type 180 next to roll. Make sure your accelerometer is on and press save. Now go to the setup tab, and on the setup tab, you can see your drone move when you move your drone in real life. So you have to make sure the movements you make in real life are shown in the same way on the screen. For some reason, I always have to type -90 next to yaw to get it correct. Although I didn't rotate the board on the yaw axis, which is very strange. Now, if you want to use bidirectional D-shot, you have to enable it in your configuration tab and tell the FC there are 12 motor magnets. Then go to your filter settings and change these numbers. Once you have that done, you can try lowering your filters, just moving the sliders to the right, both of them at the same time. Do this in small steps. Don't go all the way to the right at once. In my case, that usually does work, but you should use small steps and check your motor temps while doing so. The less filtering you can get away with, the better. If you're interested in the rest of my settings in Betaflight and JESC, you can follow the screenshots. Take my PIDs with a grain of salt because my motors are very, very old. they had a lot of play, so they also introduced a lot of vibration into the FC and everything. So I'm not sure if it's going to be the same on a new build or a newer build, but I do expect you to have a much lower PND gain than the original Mobula 6, maybe even as low as 40 or 30. Yeah, I hope you have a lot of fun building this inverted Mobula 6 and even more fun flying it. If you got any questions or problems, you can hit me up in the comment section below. I try to answer as much as I can. In my next video, I am going to be comparing inverted against uninverted motors on a thrust stand, because I'm really anxious to see if there really is a difference, if it actually makes a difference inverting your drone. I feel there is, but who knows, maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, if you're excited for that one, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you definitely cannot miss it. Take care guys, see you in the next one. Bye.